VB, what was the wash-up? Pretty pleased with the result, obviously, mate?
Yeah, really pleased with the result on the weekend. It was a really good reward for effort for the boys who we feel like we've put in a really solid body of work over the last 5 or 6 weeks against some quality opposition. And we knew West Coast on the weekend were going to come out and really keen to put themselves on the line after a disappointing 5 or 6 weeks that they've had as well. So we're really pleased with the way the boys started the game, and that set up the rest of the match for us.
Can we talk a bit more about that? What were some of the keys leading into? Why did you start so well, do you think?
Oh, it's always hard to put a finger on what it is, because if we knew exactly, we'd do it every week. But to the boys' credit, they really embraced the conditions. They get poured down with rain, literally within minutes of the game starting. And look, our game style is really suited to those wet, trying conditions. So the boys embraced that. We found a nice balance of just getting the ball going our way versus using numbers around the contest, and our forwards ahead were able to capitalise, and we put the scoreboard pressure on, which we haven't been able to do the last few weeks. So it's amazing what sort of difference that makes. You compare the first quarter on the weekend to the first quarter against the Cats, and we go in with 5 goals versus 5 behinds, makes a big difference.
You say the conditions suit you. Why do you think that is?
I think the way that we play our game when we're up and about is a real contested style of game, and we get the ball moving in our direction, and it makes it predictable for everyone all over the ground. So look, at our best, I think you'd see us getting numbers at the contest and getting the ball going our way, forwards winning contests, backs doing predictable things behind the ball, and yeah, sometimes the wet conditions mean that the predictable thing is the easiest and most reliable thing to do. So we adapted well on the weekend.
How are the coaches viewing the season so far? Now you're at the halfway point.
Yeah, look, we'll have a good review later in the week, but holistically to this point, we're really comfortable with where the group's at and feel like we've made some really good inroads in terms of where we're at with our game style, the cohesion that we're building with our playing group. And sometimes that's really hard to quantify. It doesn't necessarily come out in win-loss, but I guess when you talk system, which you probably hear a lot of coaches talking system and team defence, team offence, the way that we've been able to get cohesion in the group with our system in defence has been a big inroad for us this last couple of months. And what that means is that we're getting better connected across lines, more predictable with the way we defend, and we get better looks off the back of that. So some work-ons for us moving forward. We've spoken a bit the last couple of weeks around our ability to finish in front of goal and adding that polish to the hard work that we put in around the contest. So that's not going to change back end of the year, so we'll keep putting in a lot of work into that space, but also understanding that while we put ourselves in good positions is because we've been better defensively and harder to play against, as well as our contest work's been a key pillar of our game. That's what we'd like to think that Oppo teams scout against us, is that Adelaide bring the heat around the contest.
There's always a lot of talk about Darcy Fogarty's form.
Yep.
How pleased are you with his last couple of weeks since coming back into the side?
Yeah, look, it's been pleasing. There's been a number of guys that have had individual work-ons throughout the season to date. Darcy's no different to that. You see even on the weekend, Shane McAdam, Taylor Walker and Darcy get reward for effort. So it's been pleasing when you see guys either back in the SANFL or at AFL level put in a mountain of work and get reward. It's often the case. It doesn't always happen the week after, but good to see Darcy get reward for effort. Shane McAdam's another one who, his pressure and intensity around the footy creates opportunities for him and for the team. It was great to have Tex back in the side on the weekend. He's just, a terrific focal point for us and brings that ball to ground and lets our smalls get to work. So, you can speak of one or two individuals, but collectively it was really pleasing on the weekend.
What did you make of Paddy Parnell's debut game?
Yeah, the boys we're so excited to have Paddy run out with us on the weekend, and he's deserved his opportunity. And it was, he didn't look out of place at all out there, and I think showed in a number of contests his ability or willingness to put his head over the ball and win the hard ball. And there was still a few instances where he had ball in hand and was able to show that bit of class that he's got, that we're hoping that he continues to bring at AFL level. So for a first up effort, to play the way that he did, we're really pleased with Paddy.
Do you have an update on the Torch guy or
No, I haven't yet. No, we haven't had the players in yet to get assessed, but we'll no doubt get some clarity on that later today.
What do you make of the sub rule, BB? Like when Paddy gets subbed off with a cork, which maybe 5 years ago he plays through the rest of the game.
Yep.
What do you personally make of it?
Oh well, look, I think he was subbed. He couldn't have gone on with the cork that he had. It was quite a sore number on his leg. So yeah, traditionally guys still they get corkies left, right, and centre, whether it be legs, shoulders, whatever. They do play on for the most part. So Paddy was one on the weekend that thankfully we had Harry sitting there who was itching to get on and have a run. But yeah, Paddy put himself over the ball and got a nasty knock. So good thing is he's got a couple of weeks to get over it.
How do you rate yourself against some of the better teams, BB? When you look at your debrief or your review that you'll do for this game, obviously, but for the season, what do you think you'll take out of the games you've played against the better sides?
I think our ability to compete and challenge the better sides has been evident. I mean, we look at round one against Fremantle was a 1-point loss, and we challenged them. I remember it was the third quarter in particular. We played a poor first half, third quarter, really took it up to them and probably should have got away with the result in that game. And then even the last month of footy prior to the weekend, we played, I'll say, Carlton, Geelong, Brisbane, and I'm missing one in there. Who's the other one? GWS. And we had some outstanding footy in that, where we put ourselves in games. St Kilda's another one where, through lack of polish and finishing our work, we didn't get results. We didn't keep ourselves in the game as much as we'd like, but we walked away often from that saying that our brand of footy and our system will hold up and will challenge these teams. So that's the pleasing thing, that we've seen the development to challenge and take it up to these teams. It's a matter of us doing it for 4 quarters and finishing off when we need to. Because, as I said, the weekend was a classic of put the scoreboard pressure on in that first quarter. So we played a very similar way to what we did the week prior in Geelong. And instead of going 6 behinds, we're going 30 points up at quarter time, which makes a massive difference.
So is that how you're measuring yourself? Is it not against the teams that are around you, but are you sort of holding a measuring stick to the top 4, 5, 6 teams?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, we measure ourselves against each opposition every week, and looking at the way that you compete against the top teams often gives you a fair reflection of your game system and your big work-ons. And so ours have been really evident for us, and our ability to stay in those games and really challenge them have been pleasing, albeit disappointing we haven't got the results. So we'll keep working at those areas to improve in the second half of the year, but we will take some comfort and some positivity out of the fact that we have been able to challenge in the right way.
BB, what didn't Fish play on the weekend?
Yeah, I believe it was some leg soreness. So again, we haven't caught up as a match committee yet or had players assessed. So I dare say we'll get some clarity over that in the next couple of days.
Perhaps not necessarily your area of the ground or anything like that with Fish, but is he someone that you can see playing AFL footy at some point this year?
Oh, look, we've seen throughout the year to date that players, if they're performing at SANFL level and putting pressure above, that there's opportunities there for everyone. So Fish is no different to whether it be Brett Turner coming in for his first week at the footy club this week. So perform at SANFL level, then opportunities present themselves.
What about McPherson? He was another one who didn't play on the weekend. Yeah, did not like it.
Sorry?
McPherson, he playing the SANFL on the weekend. I think that's 2 games in a row he's missed. Yeah,
look, Moose again. We'll get some clarity on where he's at moving forward. But it was a call that he didn't play on the weekend, and we'll get assessed today. And I'm sure after the weekend off and a bit more continuity with training, he'll be good to attack the second half of the year. So he's another important player for us that helps stabilise us behind the ball.
Phoebe, is it your best forward makeup of the year, do you think, with those 3 guys, Taylor, Riley, and Darcy?
Oh, look, it was Shane. With Shane as well. Look, when we play the way that we did and they perform the way that they did, it's great for that they get the reward that they do, and that's the system that we want to play. And whether it be those 3 or 4 individuals, or whether it be Elliot coming in and playing that role as well, we know they're all capable of doing it. It's a matter of performing when you get the opportunity and playing our system. So on the weekend, it was pleasing to see those the 3 guys hit the scoreboard the way they did, and the way that they did went about their work. So that's the way we want to play as a collective, and it's no surprise that they get on the end of it.